Education brings light to every child to achieve a sustainable and admirable lifestyle in the future. However, what if the light starts to fade? That is the situation of every child, especially in a country like Syria with ongoing military conflict, whereas schools have been destroyed, resulting in nearly 2 million children being out of school, and 600,000 children who have fled their homes are not receiving any form of education. This disruption not only hampers their immediate learning but also affects their long-term development and country's future reconstruction efforts. But as the sun is rising every day, the torch of light of every child can still ignite and shine bright. Attaining hope and affirmation through collective advocacy of global citizens, the UK's commitment to the Safe School Declaration demonstrate that public pressure and global partnership can influence national policies to protect vulnerable populations, especially children in conflict zones. People have power through collaborative efforts. The significance of UK's endorsement of Safe School Declaration as it represents a formal commitment to protect education during armed conflicts. By becoming the 74th signatory, the UK joins a global initiative to condemn attacks on schools and ensure that educational institutions remain safe havens for learning. This influences other nations, particularly within the Commonwealth and G7, to follow suit and prioritize the safety of students and teachers in conflict-affected areas. In the Philippines, every person must have the right to education. Thus, as a country with commitment, the Philippines should consider signing the declaration to protect the right to education and ensure that schools remain safe spaces for learning even during times of crisis. The essence of children's education, fundamental human right and a cornerstone for sustainable development that foster prosperous future for all. The declaration is possible with the help of global citizens. In promulgating Safe School Declaration, the objective was world citizen collaboration because war is not the end, and the children development must not end.
A global citizen is someone who is aware of and understands the wider world and their place in it. Long ago, a world citizen was often seen as a thinker, someone who traveled far and wide, meeting other thinkers, sharing ideas, and dreaming of a world without borders. But after 1945, that image began to change. Today, when we think of a global citizen, we picture an activist, someone standing up for causes that reach across countries and bring people together. Still, the idea that traveling makes you a true global citizen and an expression of cosmopolitanism. It is indeed debatable and is not always true. Mass tourism often keeps people in a safe space, away from the real life of the places they visit. Sometimes, it even harms local cultures and environment. But not all travel is like that. Programs like school exchanges help young people understand each other, building real friendships across borders, and school children travels that are seen as means of promoting international understanding and building real friendships across borders. A cosmopolitan view of a wandering scholar, someone who learns by exploring the world, is still alive today. And many governments encourage this kind of learning, believing it can help create a more peaceful, connected world. As the 21st century began, something new started to grow. A web of informal networks and formal transnational organizations connecting people across borders. They are joined by shared interests from professional field to social causes that they become a big part of international politics. Some see this as the rise of the global civil society, where people work together beyond the limits of their own countries. But being part of a global organization doesn't always mean someone is acting as global citizen, but only promoting their own concern. Often, these groups are focused on their own goals, to meet or share their ideas and to call for state and international law, protecting their work, defending their income, or sharing ideas at a global conference. Still, some of these organizations go further, pushing for human rights, fair trade, or environmental justice. And through them, people are finding ways to make their voices heard on a global stage.
As a result, more and more people began to speak out, not just for their own communities but for others suffering around the world. Voluntary groups sprang up. A revolutionary movement were standing against oppression and offering help to those in need, no matter where they live. Connection, showing real, practically solidarity and support for the idea that we are all part of one global community. Transnational organizations like Amnesty International, Oxfam, and Greenpeace became powerful voices for global citizenship. Not just raising awareness, they take action. From peaceful protests to political lobbying, and sometimes even bold acts of resistance, they push for change. Behind these efforts are everyday people, volunteers who give their time and energy to help those facing war, poverty, and abuse. They are the living proof that anyone, anywhere can make a difference, and that global citizenship isn't just an idea. It's something you live out in action.
Global civil society. In the 1980s, the idea of civil society has become central to social theory. This is when in Eastern Europe, as people struggled under oppressive regimes, independent social networks began to grow. These groups created a space for people to organize, speak freely, and resist the power of the state. In China, where strict controls are seen, these autonomous social groups have become essential to pushing for democracy and human rights against communist regimes. Thus, civil society is vital in attaining democracy among each country. Social movements, community organizations, and volunteer groups act by giving people a voice. Awareness to politics, responsibility, and what it means to be an active citizen. In short, civil society is where global citizenship often begins. It starts with initiative and courage. with ordinary people choosing to make a difference.
To continue, philosophers like Hegel and Marx once saw civil society as part of the market, a space shaped by individualism and social division. But today, many thinkers see it differently. It's separate from both the state and the economy. It includes everything from community groups to informal gatherings or links, like neighbors helping each other or people connecting through shared passions and causes. Global civil society, it depends on who's involved and how much political or economic power the groups have. But one thing is clear. Global civil society can challenge the power of states. Citizenship isn't limited by geography. The real change often starts with connections between ordinary people.
At the heart of global citizenship is a simple but powerful idea that all people, everywhere, deserve equal rights and dignity. Beyond borders, we are all part of a shared human community. The belief is that builds a foundation of cosmopolitanism. Globally, transnational organizations have taken up this cause, putting pressure on governments and defending those whose rights are under threat. Scholar Richard Falk once said that global civil society promotes a world order based not on state interests but on the interests and rights of human beings. To strengthen global civil society, Amnesty International has a vision in action. With a separate secretariat across the globe, it works independently to defend human rights and bring attention to abuses no matter where they happen. Having more power, Amnesty acts as a collective global citizen, using its voice to protect the rights of individuals everywhere. Alongside it stands Human Rights Watch, based in the United States, which monitors and exposes violations of human rights across the world. Together, these groups show what global civil society are not just strangers from different countries, but as allies in a shared fight for justice. Someday, there will be no more children who are deprived of education due to war. As global citizens, let's be the light for those still lost in endless nights. We hope that world leaders promote global citizenship and empower global civil society. True leaders guide, not just command. They help their people take a stand to amplify their voice as they are the pillar of hope.